I moved into Oak Valley Estates 2 years ago, lured by the peaceful vibe, tall oaks lining every cul-de-sac, and the promise of friendly neighbors. It wasn't the fanciest neighborhood, but I loved it. I'm an IT project manager by trade, not flashy, but I had recently earned a big promotion and decided to treat myself with something I'd dreamed about for years, a Rolex Submariner. It wasn't just a luxury, it was a symbol of perseverance. I had it engraved with the date of my promotion, and every time I looked at it, I was reminded of how far I'd come. Of course, not everyone appreciated it. The HOA president, Linda Caldwell, had ruled Oak Valley with a perfectly manicured fist for almost a decade. You'd think she was the mayor of a small city instead of an overzealous volunteer. She wore her title like a badge of honor, complete with HOA polos, clipboards, and laminated charts of every bylaw known to man. She was the kind of person who left anonymous notes if your garbage bin stayed out past 9 or if your porch light bulb was the wrong wattage. I'd managed to avoid her direct attention until last month's annual spring cookout. It was supposed to be a relaxing Saturday. I wore a short-sleeved polo, my Rolex peeking just slightly from under the cuff. I didn't think twice about it. But the moment I stepped onto the community center lawn, I saw Linda staring. Her eyes went straight to my wrist and stayed there. She was standing near the drinks table, holding her usual clipboard and whispering to her sidekick, Marjorie, like a gossiping middle schooler. At first, I brushed it off. Maybe she was just surprised. A few neighbors complimented the watch, asked if it was real, and I laughed it off with a nod. But Linda wasn't laughing. During lunch, as I was chatting with my neighbor Dan about weekend hiking trails, she sidled up to us, smiling too widely. "That's an interesting watch," she said, voice syrupy sweet. "Very ambitious?" I raised an eyebrow. "Thanks. It was a gift to myself." She gave a tight nod, eyes never leaving the watch. "We just want to make sure everyone here is being honest. This is a family community, after all." It was an odd thing to say, but I let it go. That was mistake number one. Over the next hour, Linda kept popping up. First, near the grill, telling someone how fake watches had become common among certain types. Then, by the dessert table, loudly speculating how some people might flaunt items they didn't actually own. I knew who she was talking about. Each comment got bolder, and my patience got thinner. Just when I thought she was done, she pulled her final act. I was standing near the stage, chatting with a group of neighbors, when Linda cleared her throat loudly and stepped up beside me. "Everyone," she called out, "I need your attention." Conversations died. All eyes turned to us. "I've received concerns about counterfeit luxury goods being worn at HOA events," she said. "As president, it's my duty to investigate." I laughed awkwardly. "Linda, you can't be serious." "Oh, I am," she replied. "I did some research. That model of Rolex is commonly faked." She pointed directly at my wrist. "If that's real, you shouldn't mind a little verification." I tried to de-escalate. "It is real. I have the paperwork at home." But she wasn't looking for peace. In a flash, she reached out and yanked the watch off my wrist. I was too stunned to react. The clasp popped open, and she held the watch above her head like she'd just won an Olympic medal. "I'll be taking this to a jeweler," she declared. "We'll get to the bottom of this." The crowd gasped. Some people looked horrified. Others were too shocked to move. I stepped forward. "Give it back." "Linda," she smirked. "If it's real, you'll have nothing to worry about." I was furious, humiliated, violated. My hands shook. I could barely form words. Then I heard a calm voice behind me. "That's enough." A man stepped out from the crowd. I recognized him vaguely, a neighbor who lived 2 streets over. Name's Officer Ray Harris. "I'm off duty, but I just watched you commit theft in front of 24 witnesses." Linda froze. "I'm the HOA president," she snapped, holding the watch closer to her chest. "This is part of my responsibilities." "No," Ray said firmly. "This is a felony. That watch is worth over 10 grand. "Right." I nodded. "Then unless you give it back right now and hope he doesn't press charges, you're going to jail today." Linda looked around, expecting someone, anyone, to back her up. Silence. Then she made mistake number 2. "No, I'm protecting the community." He could be lying. Ray pulled out his phone. "All right, you had your chance." 15 minutes later, 2 patrol cars rolled into the parking lot. The officers questioned me first, then several witnesses, then Linda herself. She tried the same defense, calling it a misunderstanding, claiming she was just being cautious. But it didn't matter. They handcuffed her right there on the grass. People stopped eating. Conversations turned to whispers. Phones came out. Linda looked completely lost, muttering about bylaws and fraud and community values as the officers led her away. The watch was returned to me, handled carefully, bagged as temporary evidence. One officer apologized for the inconvenience. I just nodded, too drained to say much. The aftermath came quickly. Within 3 days, the HOA board called an emergency meeting. I wasn't there, but word spread fast. The vote was unanimous. Linda was removed as president. Her name stripped from every document and group chat. Marjorie resigned the next day. Then came the trial. Turns out, the watch was even rarer than I thought. I had the paperwork. Sure, but the serial number matched a limited run of only 500 units worldwide. Linda's lawyer tried arguing it was a misunderstanding, that she had reasonable suspicion and acted in good faith. The judge didn't buy it. 6 months in jail, 3 years probation, over $15,000 in restitution and court fees. The last time I saw her was in the courtroom. She looked smaller somehow, not physically, but in spirit. The woman who used to lecture neighbors about lawn edging now stood silent as the judge read her sentence. Her mouth moved, but no words came out. I walked out of that courtroom with my watch and my dignity and a deep appreciation for the quiet power of staying calm under pressure. And from that day forward, no one in Oak Valley questioned whether my Rolex was real. But even better, no one ever questioned my right to wear it.